Hello and welcome to the It's Good to Be Bad podcast. Welcome back to the city of Doskvol for Blades in the Dark. I'm old Jim and I'm here to tell you a story. Now, the tale I told you last time out was captured on podcast 16 called Throw a Rope Over Him. You'll have to cast your mind back or perhaps check it out once again before you listen to this podcast, and it does include some rule explanations, so that might be handy. But before we get any further, please remember to like and subscribe, tell your friends, and maybe even join our Patreon members and make a contribution to the running of our site. All these things really do help out. They might even buy me some new shoes, because these ones are wearing a bit thin. If you fancy emailing us a scenario that we should play, pop us a line on itsgoodtobebard@gmail.com and we'll take a look. Thanks for that. Now, back to our story. Blades in the Dark is meant to be a fast-paced game without much preamble, getting into the heart of the action really quickly. But we've sabotaged this concept to create a long-running scenario in this very excellent game. Quick recap for you. Roll a number of 6-sided dice equal to your skill. Roll a 1, 2 or 3 and it's a poor result. 4 or 5, that's not bad, but something goes wrong. And 6 or more and you succeed. It's set in a horrible dark world overrun by thieves and villains and shadowy canals and ne'er-do-wells. There's little food in the city, so these guys, it's all mushroom sorbet and mutant fish for dinner. So, the subtle blades, that's Ollie.
Hello.
Graeme.
Hello.
Lee.
Hello.
Dave too.
Hello.
And Matt.
Hello.
Return home to find that the mysterious book that was given to them has been stolen. And their lookout, Nobby, is unconscious. Dreadful feelings of inadequacy illumine as Nobby tells them something about Wraiths. The obvious assumption is that the Wraiths, a rival gang, has attacked and stolen the book. And now it's time for our crew to plan their next move as they look to engage the Wraiths. Now, being subtle, this is bound to be a well thought out, devious and very careful plan. So careful that you'll stand and applaud. No way will they just knock on the door and start punching. Will they? Surely not. I suggest you turn the lights down low, climb into the bath, and tuck into a fish pie to get that authentic Doskvol feel, and prepare for the very next episode of Blades in the Dark. You have literally turned up. I'll get Nobby out. Get me Nob out. There he is.
Got some splaining.
That Nobby, like his Nobby, is all battered and bruised.
He's got some splaining to do.
He has, yes. Oh, he turns around and says,
smackhead, so.
He turns around and says, look, it's part of the plot. What can I do?
I would have resisted it, but I'm an NPC, so I do what the GM tells me.
Stop being a smackhead for 1 second.
He goes,
Done.
We're all
Second.
Yeah. we're all very proud of him.
I mean, you say proud.
Disgusted.
Yeah, that's more like it.
I say we have another hound with us.
He's
one hound, one leech, one lurk, one slide,
one cutter,
and a spare hound.
I don't think we need Nobby at the minute.
Nobby is beaten, battered and bruised.
Good.
Go off.
Nothing while he
and he's going to go off and discover where the opium has grown. Because
we all know it's over there.
He doesn't... He's gone.
Honest Abdul's opium shack.
No, he's quite badly injured. So
is he like a croquet hoop at the moment?
No, because he was punched around the head and neck. So he's not feeling particularly good. He mumbles something about a wraith.
That does not surprise me.
Yeah,
and that's about all you get.
Yeah.
So the Wraiths are a gang.
That is true.
We might have cast aspersions that they were the one who took the book. Although they probably...
Well, they are the ones that have the book now.
Actually, now that they have it, it's now true.
Yes.
Well, for your information, Caro, which is his character, otherwise known as Clink.
Mm-hmm. Which is ironic considering...
Adric?
Adric...
What's his nickname?
Can't act.
My nickname... Jacket.
Jacket. It's not the nickname we gave you last week, but we'll take it.
Why am I not...
We were going to go with Comfy Cuffs, but we weren't sure.
Von Dharma, your lurker, is otherwise known as Mist, and that is Mr. Graeme.
Mm-hmm.
Lee is a slide, and he is called
Dolmore, otherwise known as Goth.
No, that's the other one.
That's the other one.
That's my other one.
Sorry, and your name is?
Right, it's James Blonde.
Oh,
James
Blonde.
Blonde.
And his name is, his nick is
Spectre.
Spectre, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm quite proud of that.
And I do believe that Dave is a leech, and his name is?
Quentin Grime.
And your nickname?
Lenses.
Lenses. You have a pirate-themed crew who don't like you called the Red Sashes. You have attacked the Foghounds on a rooftop and taken a package from the night market to the station and even managed an attack on another base to gain extra territory. Now you face your sternest test. Foghounds, Red Sashes, Crow's Foot, and an enemy of the Morticians.
Yeah, so rivals, Morticians, rivals, Crow's Foot, rivals, Red Sashes. I imagine the Wraiths will appear on that list very shortly.
Do we have any friends?
I would say only if we actually succeed at getting the book back.
The book has gone missing. Nobby has gone to bed with a poorly arm.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, it must be poorly because he's tied something, a little tourniquet, around the top of his arm.
Yeah.
And he's just patting it. He is now out of the adventure on the grounds that we now have another hound with us.
Primary hound. With me dog called Winston.
Oh, that's the one who swallowed the bell, isn't it?
Yeah, the bell swallowing dog.
Yeah.
Cloisterbell.
That was
instantly had more personality than you.
Oh, that's harsh. That's harsh. But he is cute.
He's extremely cute when he rattles like that.
Disagree with him there, though.
I just said it was harsh.
Exactly.
That's fair.
So you've got a character called Adric,
Yeah.
whose dog has swallowed the cloister bell.
No, just a small bell.
Yeah.
A little tinkle bell. But unfortunately, the dog swallowed it, which meant that every time he was trying to sneak up somewhere, the dog would make a
Tinkle, tinkle, tinkle.
every ding, 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 ding. Well, he was just every time he moved forward.
He has the ability of arrow swift as well, and I have no idea what that does.
It means he's quick.
Yes.
Okay.
That was the end of that story.
It's an arcane ability, though.
As they say, time flies like an arrow, fruit flies like a banana. So,
I'm not. No.
Waka waka.
you love it. You love it. Put it in the
I
book.
didn't realise Fozzie Bear had turned up again.
Fozzie Bear's here every week. I leave the entire game in your hands.
Excellent. We shoot ourselves.
And I'll do your experience.
Only if we hit.
Well, it's quite desperate, I'll give it that. You need to do your decision about what you're going to do, then you need to plan it, and then you need to do it.
We're going to get the book back from the Wraiths.
By?
Doing over their gaff.
Right, so your plan is to do over their gaff.
I'm open to suggestions.
Well, we are meant to be known as the subtle blades, not the sledgehammer blades.
Yeah, but at what point have we been even remotely subtle?
Well, I try to every week.
Yeah, and
you muppets.
I did nothing to scupper the last.
Mind you, he might have something with this sledgehammer blades thing. It sounds nasty.
Yeah.
Sledgehammer with blades.
No, I didn't see what the problem was with the Scotland priests.
You weren't priests, and some of you aren't from Scotland.
We're also not subtle.
There is an element of truth there. Effectively, this is your score. You want to turn over. So you have planning and engagement.
I'm open to dissenters if we don't want to do that.
You have 6 options, and it is assault, which is do violence to a target. Deception, lure, trick, or manipulate. That's what you did last week.
Yes.
Stealth, trespass unseen, or was it that one? Well, it's deception or stealth.
I think we were going deception/stealth.
Yeah. Occult, engage a supernatural power.
No.
We're never doing that one.
You need some kind of a whisper because you need somebody who can attune properly.
All I've got is a bounty right now.
Not a Twix.
Still haven't.
I mean, you talk about my gags, and he's on about bounties.
Yeah.
I mean, that one was. I heard the tumbleweed go past.
But it was a pretty lazy throw.
Social, which is negotiate, bargain, or persuade, and the final one is transport, which you don't do because you're not anything except pain to the readers.
Regret.
So,
well, if we're not going for all out assault,
you have the 6.
It's stealth.
You choose and provide the missing detail, like the point of attack, the social connection you're going to use. If you're going to do stealth, your detail is the point of infiltration. If you're going to do deception, the method of that deception. That's what you kind of need to choose.
Could leak information that our plan worked and they stole the decoy book that we'd arranged.
That could take time. How long will it take them to get the information?
I'm just
You're leading into that, aren't you?
suggesting
no,
some
that's-
stuff.
yeah,
like,
that-
I'm not
that's
saying it's a
fine.
bad plan.
because then we could potentially lure them to a point of our choosing. As they go, I can't believe we fell for that.
Well, the thing about this is, I would say, that obviously, these must be the people that were originally hired by Strangford to
the
so
pub.
they've got the book that they wanted to have.
Yes.
I suggest that they are probably now going to want to set up some sort of meeting with.
Strangford.
Well, it won't be Strangford himself. I wouldn't. Have
Well,
thought.
it'd be-
because plausible deniability.
And
He's going to have some
intermediary.
lackey.
Well, presumably he's going to have all the Wraiths killed at the end of the meeting as well.
Well, I would think so. Which would perhaps aid us. Well, it certainly wouldn't be after us then if they're all dead.
If he kills them for us, that's fine and dandy.
So if we could maybe find out what their next step is, that might give us an idea of
Right,
how
so
we
we're-
could then proceed.
So we're gathering information. Or potentially we can grab one of their runners and squeeze them for information.
So, every attempt to gather information is going to take you time.
Mm-hmm.
And I will have to ask you how your character will gather the information and what skills you're going to use to find that information.
Can I use violent methods to gather information?
You can use any method you want,
Squeeze information out of
People.
except that isn't on my list of example questions.
Excellent.
I'm not really academic in my pursuits.
So as a hound, I assume you're more punching things to get the truth.
Tracking and shooting and
All right, okay.
I'm a cutter. I'm a fighter, basically.
Right, so you're more the
I'm the physical violence type.
He's a tinkerer.
yeah.
Lee, what are you?
He's a slide.
Confused.
So we'll get to go down him.
Oh, his best skill is prowl,
yeah.
which he's got 3 in.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, nice.
And you've got a...
I have a 2 in finesse and prowl.
So there's examples in here. You might attune the ghost field to see echoes of recent spirit activity, command a barkeep to tell you what he knows about secret meetings in his back room, consult with well-connected friends to learn secrets about enemies and rivals. All this sort of thing can be done. All you have to do is pick a person and you can consort with them.
Okay, so
Devil's bargains, pushing it, flashbacks are all available.
So I've got a sly friend.
You do have a sly friend.
Prostitute, yeah, that makes sense. Right, okay. So the sly friend.
She's
I've
called
got-
Miss Funny Fanny.
Open all hours. Okay.
Actually, I like that one.
I've got a gang leader who's a sly friend that thinks well of me. I was just wondering whether or not he's heard anything on the grapevine about.
Consorting, would that be?
Yeah, I mean, I've got 1 dice in that.
Well, that gives you 1. But then, of course, you can take a devil's bargain. That gives you an extra dice. You could be assisted by a friend in the party. That would give you 3 dice. And then, yet again, all you're going to do is roll your dice and take the highest number you get.
Yeah.
If any of you guys can help him with this friend, out of character, the sort of thing you can do
Yeah.
is, I know a copper. I can keep them off his back for a month.
I do know a copper.
That's the sort of thing.
Excellent. I was actually wondering who's doing what so far.
So we're going to try and
Gather information.
gather information.
They have to be treated as separate things, and time passes for every attempt to gather information.
I'm thinking we go a more direct approach and grab a member of the Wraiths off the streets and convince them to give up information.
Are you saying you're going to pause on that until you find out what they get, or just do it anyway?
I'm going to do it anyway,
Right.
because that's
So
exact
that's 2 sessions
sort of thing I would do.
gathering information,
Mhm.
and that will take you twice as long.
Okay, well,
Because
gives us 2 chances to not fuck it up.
Yes.
So
Or suck it up.
Or we'll make
So-
it worse.
I'll take the 2 stress
he's going to push it, take 2 stress, and
for an
that's
extra
3
for an
dice.
extra- for an extra dice.
Yeah.
He goes and talks to Sly. We don't need to roleplay it. You roll
we
3
do
dice.
healing at the end of the session.
Yes.
Oh yes.
That's fantastic.
You've already had your winter phase.
That's
for want of a
fantastic
better word.
news. That's great. I'm still
Right,
banged
okay,
up from the
so-
last
Yeah,
adventure.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's 1.
That's why you're
What,
supporting
6?
me.
6.
Did you get 2, did you?
No, it was 5.
No, because that obviously it does mean a critical.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but no, I didn't.
So you get the opportunity to ask a follow-on question from the information I give you.
Right, okay.
Sly goes, the Wraiths. Oh, I know about the Wraiths. The Wraiths are on the next page. They are a mysterious crew of masked thieves and spies.
Okay.
An interesting bunch. You would probably estimate that they're tier 2.
Tier 2 to you too.
And what are you?
Tier 0, probably. We're so shit.
You're,
Tier 1.
there you go. You're tier 1. But that means if you do take them on, you are instantly in that situation where you're taking on something higher than yourself, which gives you experience. Their turf is usually Silkshore and the Night Market, which reminds me to get the map out. So Silkshore is over here, and the Night Market is over here in the shit section.
Okay.
Parts of the town are shit. So the real crap bits is this bit here. Thanks for the
Where
fancy.
we live.
And this bit here. The bits you were in last time, which is Brightstone, is the posh area. The one where the money flows. And you ran away from it very quickly.
Was it pretty bad?
Yeah.
And the Rozzers were on your tail.
Yeah.
They are known for wearing a mask, which conceals their true identity, and therefore people don't really know who they are.
Okay.
So that's going to make questioning one of them rather difficult.
It is true. However, he's gone out to do it anyway. You get a follow-on question.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Just one question, is it? Yes, that's
Yeah,
it. Bye.
Just one.
Are you sure it's just one question?
Yeah. This is where we're now stymied for half an hour.
Yeah,
Just think of
thinking of a
one-
bloody question.
one question.
It's not like a genie. You don't.
Alright,
You don't
yeah.
have to worry about it being a wish and getting the wording
No,
exactly
no,
right.
not at all.
No, but it's just...
I'm just wondering if he's noticed if there's been any increased activity from them. Are they kind of...
Well, there is rumour. They complete a heist in a luxury brothel in Night Market. Absolutely. They turned over a Leviathan hunter who was, let's describe it as busy.
Right,
in a brothel?
Yeah,
in the night market.
in the Night Market.
No, what they're talking about is the guy that fell through the skylight.
Yeah.
That's the guy that they're referring to. But they're saying it was, it wasn't in some scrofulous pub downtown. It was in a nice place. So to me, that's what they're
I
trying to
wonder
do
if
there.
they're all mouth and no trousers, this lot.
Well,
Although if they're tier 2,
they're tier 2.
They must be.
They must have really nice trousers.
Those guys came off the boat from Skoblia. They're better than us.
Don't badmouth my people like that. Jeez.
And
I'm
my
wondering if
people.
we can just... If we stop
You're Scov
wearing
as well?
Yes, but there's a reason I
Yeah,
don't
we
live
start
there
out
anymore.
You have now gone out in an attempt to duff up somebody you don't know and not sure how to find them. So, what would you like to do?
Well, basically, we're looking for a member of the Wraiths.
The question I have to ask is, how do you go about finding them?
Good question.
Have they got pubs or hangouts where they normally go to? I presume they've got their own territory sort of thing. So
Well,
they must
everybody
have
knows that their turf is the Silkshore and the Night Market, so they're obviously those are their primary hunting grounds.
Well,
Specialising in the theft of luxury items and intelligence gathering.
but nobody knows where their base is.
Nobody seems to know specifically where they're based.
Silkshore is nearby to where we are. That would seem like the easiest mark.
There was a bridge.
What? Do we have any informants in Silkshore? Do we know anybody who
we
might
barely
be...
have informants.
I mean, what have we got on our crew sheet?
Oh, actually, we do +1 to gather information for scores.
Oh, in that case, you should have rolled 4.
Probably
Do you
could have
want to roll
avoided
them
the
all?
stress, to be honest.
Would you want to roll another one to try and get double 6?
Yeah.
I did.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, you know roughly exactly where you need to go.
So we have an idea of a meeting place, because obviously if they are all masked up, they're inclined to have, this is our hideout.
Yeah.
Ollie and Matt wander the streets like waifs and strays, and then eventually come home sulking, and Ollie beats up Nobby.
But they haven't
Yes.
made a coin.
Well, they've taken out of Nobby's pocket for that.
Yeah.
You get yourself a location where you think that the Wraiths live. Oh, would you, Adam, and believe it? I have a map, cunningly prepared. I'll give it to Ollie. Ollie likes a good map.
So what's he looking at that for?
So there's your map.
There's numbers and shit on it.
Yeah, and the numbers correspond to number 1. It's a back alley right down the centre of the thing. There are rubbish bins and food that dominates that area.
Excellent.
Because that is the back of some shops.
Okay.
Number 2 appears to be residential properties. They're flats in rickety old kind of pushed together tenement blocks. Number 3, there is, let me have a look here, from the top to the bottom, they are called the Rotten Apple, which is an eatery dealing mostly in eels, predominantly of the jellied variety.
Can I write these up?
You
Is
may,
that
you may.
the Rotten Apple.
Yeah, the second place is a tattoo parlour called Skin Credible. There is a shady place next door to that called Cash 22, which pays to loan money to people.
These are gold.
There is a chimney sweeps place called Ash Wipe. Next to it is a bar called Planet of the Grapes.
Are these all you're doing?
There is a
Fair play if they are.
There is a fish and chip shop called Assault and Battery. And finally, there seems to be a pawn shop, PAWN for the sake of people who'd like to know how to spell, called Junk and Disorderly. Number 4 on the map is more residential properties. Number 5 is a little place called Knoll Street, commonly known on the street as Murder Alley, because there has been at least 12 bodies found here in the last 2 years.
We should go there immediately.
And get killed.
Yes.
Surrounding it is a lot of water. This is the areas where boats dock in the centre, there's a bridge over, etc., etc.
Right, okay.
That's all water.
And do we know any of these that might be their hideout specifically?
That is the area where they are kind of seen. The suspicion is that is where their base of operations will be.
Get Walter to bring us in to the little jetty thing.
Going to Silkshore? Truth!
Maybe have him sort of just there, our escape, although it's a punt. So he's making a quick getaway.
All right, Cobber.
He's going to wear a stripy shirt with the port.
No, he wears a hat with the corks on. It helps him keep the crows at bay.
Now, in these back alleys, are there a lot of meringue pies? Because that way the streets will be deserted.
Well, it's been a good run.
Get out.
That was truly, truly awful. Congratulations. Yes. These streets are not deserted.
Shame.
Mainly because it appears they're tramps living in alley number 1.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
You don't want to live in Death Alley.
Murder alley.
Murder alley.
That's what I mean. Must be all the other crews trying to blame the Wraiths on everything that goes on round here.
Maybe the Wraiths have actually never done anything. Everyone's just blaming everything on them.
They don't actually exist.
Oh, he solved the whole thing.
The world's biggest con.
Yeah.
So, you have 7 shops you can go in. You have a series of residential properties. Mm-hmm. You have Anne Back Alley and Murder Alley. And a lot of water.
They're not fish, so I think we can... The water in the middle, I think we can dismiss that for now. Don't we need to search it?
That may be the place to look.
It might be.
You think I'm not going to cut that out?
No. Because some of the abysmal stuff you leave in.
It's an underground base, underwater.
Okay.
Yeah, so we need to start searching, basically.
Get a pot pie.
Yeah, okay. You go into the Rotten Apple, Planet of the Grapes.
Planet of the Grapes, yeah.
You go into Planet of the Grapes. It's a bar. I might even...
A secondary map.
Planet of the Grapes.
It's very small. It has... That is the main area that you see right in front of the door. It's got a bar that runs round that corner piece. A kitchen, stores, but you reckon that there's probably a strong room, some gutting room in the bins.
Excellent.
So,
yes.
You're going to the bar.
Yes.
The bar is run by what appears to be a giant ginger hedge.
It's Nathaniel Blackman.
No, he's called McCangus.
McCangus.
And what can I get you, Sonny? He says in
right,
big, loud ginger voice.
All right, big leg. Can I get a pot pie for myself and a...
He's got bad teeth. Got gingivitis. Anyway.
Like to pork pie, please, for myself, and
Pork?
Pork?
You'd like a mushroom pie?
Mushroom pie.
Or a hagfish pie?
ooh, options.
Right. Hagfish and mushroom pie.
Oh, push the board out, yeah.
Well, I feel like treating myself.
I'll take a mushroom.
I was say, might have some kidney here, but I wouldn't advise eating it.
Can I get half of one from a wee doggy?
What? You brought a dog in here? Oh, you can have anything you want, mate. Hand it over.
No, it's my pet. It's my friend.
What?
Eat my dog.
No, I'm going to have to ask again. You don't want to sell your dog?
No.
Why not?
He's my pal.
It's the only friend in the world he's got.
Oh, is it...
Yeah, they have a special relationship.
Right. Why is it ringing?
It only rings in front of nonsense.
Whoa! Okay, that's you dead. Holy crap. Right, so...
How to make friends.
And definitely influence
How to
people.
make friends is we leave Matt at home.
Yes.
So what can I do for you gents? Is it mushroom ale all round?
Yeah, why not?
Slide some over the bar. Do you want the strong stuff or just this namby-pamby watery rubbish?
I wasn't aware there was a choice.
Or you want the good stuff? Aye, that comes with a little bit of coke in it, you know. That'll blow your face off.
The thing with it is, it's so...
Not for me, thanks.
So dang depressing. People are using anything to get high.
The other week I was injecting toothpaste into my veins. It might not get you very much of a high, but I'm minty fresh.
Ooh, fancy boys got toothpaste.
I'd have created it bobbing in the sea. It was 1,000 years old.
See you.
I do. You're right there.
Is there many other patrons in the...
Several.
Do they all look as shifty as we
Several
do?
dozen. They all look as shifty as you.
Are any of them wearing masks?
No.
It would stand them out a little bit.
Is there a table that says reserved for Wraiths?
No. There's no tables reserved for anyone.
Dang it.
If you can punch harder than them, that table's yours.
All right then.
Last thing you need is to take any kind of damage
No,
before you start.
I'll be fine. What are you worried about?
I'm going to find a nice stool of me.
Oh,
Oh, well, that beggar's just left one over there.
I'll have me mushroom.
yeah. You're in the pub. What doing?
The thing with it is we're unlikely to find the Wraiths.
What?
Well, you might do,
Because
you
you
don't
could
know
be
it's
stood
them.
next to them.
Well, yeah, for starters, we would. How do we know who they are?
We don't.
Because if they normally go around wearing masks, then it could be any. Could even be the barman, for all we know.
Yeah. So the first wraith you find goes, "Hey you!
I think we
Hang
noticed,
on!"
we noticed a tiny mask on a massive ginger face.
I didn't say he had a tiny mask, just covering his nose.
Yeah.
Like a Phantom of the Opera mask.
That just covers one eye.
Or a wraith so subtle he doesn't need a mask.
What do you guys do round your base?
Well, we normally keep nobbies a lookout.
Yeah.
Anybody that hasn't turned up for that
Yeah,
session.
exactly.
We pay off the police.
So what would you like to do?
No.
Are there a lot of people in the bar? Few
There's
people?
quite a lot of people in the bar. You've walked past a load of tramps in the back alleys. You didn't see any corpses in Murder Alley. And if they did, you
Oh well, I'll get a passerby and murder them.
yeah, dump him in the alley with a wraith mask on.
Any card games of chance, anything like that going on?
Dreadlords, some Scottish people playing punchcock.
Oh, I'm in. Oh, you play.
Now, obviously, we need to bring them or their attention to us, but obviously, we've got to do it in a subtle way.
What, by saying we're the Wraiths, put down and piss off?
Well, we haven't got masks, so
Perhaps we could purchase some masks at Cash 22.
And pretend we're the Wraiths.
special wraith draw that they've got unmasked up with.
With the masks.
We don't know.
So-
like they might not have special masks.
When they say they've got masks, is it sort of like, like Dick Turpin type of like?
Even if they
Like
were
scarf
only
type thing
Dick
that
Turpin
goes-
masks, then you wouldn't know who they were.
Yeah, I know, but I'm thinking of the style of
Bandanas.
it.
Are they all the same?
Bandanas
Yeah.
or that kind
Or-
of mask.
No,
or
they're kind of full face masks.
full face masks. Right, okay.
Well, we'll get glasses and twist our hair into a kiss curl, then nobody will recognise us.
Excellent. Or we go and get some red sashes and cause some trouble.
Right, yeah, the Red Sash is a particular group. as
And they
well.
don't like.
No, it's just they don't like
They
us.
don't like us.
And
Oh, I see.
we could start causing trouble to lure the Wraith, potentially lure
So I
the
could
Wraiths
turn around
out.
to him and say, "What do you mean the Red Sashes said the Wraiths were a bunch of cunts?" So we've got tenements, we've got tramps.
More tenements.
Right. Okay. Let's move this forward. Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's a very big pie.
It's not a very big pie. You swallowed it in 4 seconds. You've got a very big mouth.
Yeah, but he spent 2 minutes re-eating it.
But that's because he's regurgitated it 4 times. It just won't go stay down.
Is that what you do to feed your dog?
Oh,
Be bird,
like a
yeah,
baby
yeah,
bird,
yeah.
Oh, rank.
Winston,
Absolutely rank.
sit still.
A sweaty old
Oh,
tramp.
is that what the dog does to feed him?
A sweaty old tramp comes into the room,
Yes.
limping slightly, goes over to the bar and just like throws a couple of like minute tiny bits of shavings or coins onto the bar and gets a nice frothy beaker of stale mushroom beer.
Oh.
From the slop tray, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just a few shavings. And then Makanga says, "You finish that and get back outside because I'm not having sweaty old tramps in here all bloody night." "Don't mind me, don't mind me. I'll be in the street, sitting in me bin."
in the bin.
Oh, he lives in the bins out back.
He lives in the bins out back. He takes his mushroom ale and hobbles outside.
Okay, let's go and follow him. We'll go and have a
He'll
chat.
know. He lives in the street. He'll know stuff.
He hobbles over to one of those old, the bins with the lift-up
Yes.
lids, lifts the lid up and like, just chucks himself inside and shuts the lid. And then there's some rummaging going on.
It's Oscar the Grouch.
That's what I'm thinking. It's that guy out of Sesame Street.
Yeah.
I think you'll find it's pronounced C-same. So,
Seaside Street. Sasami.
all you can hear inside is somebody going, "One."
I think I'd like one of them really strong beers, please. To the barman, can I have one of those?
Aye, that'll be some cash monies.
Yeah,
and
okay.
you throw a few shavings over, effectively.
Yeah, yeah.
Not even full coins. This is mushroom beer. It's shit.
And then
You're gonna
obviously,
take it
I'm
outside.
gonna take it outside.
Throw it onto the tramp.
Yeah.
Bring up your knobhead.
Stop
Yeah.
wanking, start talking. Come on.
I'm not going to stop
Well,
wanking, just give it talk.
give his home a polite knock.
Go away, he says. Go away. I'm busy.
Wanky.
Oh, he's sending a telegram.
Let's give him a few moments. When should he start falling asleep?
And then vinegar stroke, don't worry.
You knock again, he goes, go away.
Are you sure? I have one of these really nice, strong beers.
The door opens. Hello.
I'll just obviously step a little bit further away from him.
Because of the stench.
No, I don't want him nicking it straight away. Closing the door and us going, arse.
Evening, gents.
Evening.
Could you put some clothes on, please?
What can I do for you?
He is wearing clothes.
Oh, he never takes his clothes off.
That's fungus.
What can I do for you fine, upstanding individuals? Very handsome and smart that you are.
Well,
What can humble old Tom do for you?
Well, we believe that there are some gentlemen that operate in this area,
Oh, very probably.
and we'd like information on them.
I can't quite remember.
Well, you'll be able to remember in a moment, but obviously we need...
Assurances.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, don't tell on, but you know, down the back end of the alley, right, down there, there's Talbot's down there. He says he's a tramp, but he's all washed when he comes under the street. That's no tramp. I reckon he's up to some funny business. I reckon Buxomley's up to some funny business and all. He's down the other end of the street.
Who's he?
One at each end they are. Tramps, they say they are.
Lookouts. Oh, all of the blue coats have come in, bang the bins or something like that.
So which location is this?
Basically, either end of the number one.
Yeah, either end of the alley, where the bins and the rubbish is kept.
Right.
Where old Tom lives in a bin. Swarming here, got plenty of bin bags. Sometimes there's food thrown in. Although all that skin that the tattoo parlour left, I don't want to know that. Came from it made a nice rug.
It's like a sleeping bag, it shrinks in the winter.
Just climb inside, all cosy. Anyway.
When you want to get a bit bigger, you just got to rub it a bit.
That's what he was doing.
Making my sleeping bag bigger.
It's a foreskin cloak.
It's just made of foreskins, is that what you're trying to say?
Oh,
I think it would take more than 4.
oh God.
Just wondering then. So it's one end of that street, one
Yeah,
end
yeah,
of that
yes.
street. Okay.
So that presumably means their headquarters is around here somewhere.
I'm wondering whether or not prowling I can get near them to.
Well, I presume what you do is you skitter up the wall behind them.
He's not a Spider-Man. He gets 3 dice as a basic.
Yes.
Yeah.
If he decides to take a devil's bargain, or push it, or get somebody to assist him, then he could have up to
The devil, you say?
5 of your human dice.
No, I don't want 5.
Prowling isn't really my thing.
Well, how could somebody assist you in prowling?
They go, excuse me, mister.
Misdirect. So basically, they can create a bit of a disturbance.
Make noise down that end while you're creeping in the other end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You've
that'll
just
give
come
you,
out.
that'll give you an extra dice.
Question.
Okay.
Something called trans powder.
Yes.
What does trans powder do?
Turns you into a girl.
I'm just thinking if we've got some lookouts, if you can some trans powder on them, might be able to put them in some kind of receptive state where we can ask them some questions.
Trance powder is a glittering blue powder which induces a pleasant hypnotic trance when it's inhaled. So you'd have to make him inhale it. The victim of this powder is not fully unconscious, but rather retreats into a calm and suggestible mental state similar to hypnosis.
Ideal.
It's meth, isn't it?
Well,
Just wondering what a silence potion actually does and how it works, because that's my lurk item.
Does it silence things?
Yeah, but how? That's what I'm trying to say. Is it? Do I drink it and I become silent?
Creates an area of utter silence around the shattered vial when you throw it on the floor. That's true magic, not like the trance powder which can be made in a lab. This is like magic stuff.
Although it's kind of ironic, you have to smash a vial for it.
Do we start with a special item?
no, I'm just, you know, you can practically stamp on his foot, throw the powder in his face, and
Well, he can. He's got 4 dice straight away with
So-
the idea of you making a bit of
here you
noise.
are, 1 pouch of trans powder.
Although you haven't actually specified what your load was for this mission. But if you're going on a raid, I would presume it's a light
Yeah,
one.
there's no...
Which for you is 5.
We're not fingers go lightly this time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So-
So are we saying light?
So you have
Yes.
5 items.
fine.
5 items. Yeah, that's fine. So that's 1. So I've got 4 left.
So
That's fine.
Talbot and Buxomley, one end. Which one would you like to go for?
I'll go Talbot.
Talbot it is.
It makes a difference, really.
Well, you're
one
making a
as well.
noise at one end,
Right,
which allows him to creep up on the other guy.
right.
Yeah,
okay.
so distracting the other dude.
So he's got
Right,
4
okay.
dice to roll.
Yeah, okay.
1 6.
A 6. So I would have called that quite controlled, done nice. Critical would have been an increased effect, but tough titties. He just walks up and goes, blows it in his face. Before the guy has any idea what he's done, it's in, which means he's now massively susceptible under a form of hypnosis, which even with command or sway is going to give you probably 2 dice bonus.
Right, so I've got sway as well.
Cool.
And if one of you comes around and waves a naked girl in front of it, it might be 5 dice.
I'll show off. I'll do a catwalk for him.
Oh, well, that's fine. If you've got the hips for it. What are you trying to do? Sway him into telling you where the Wraiths live.
Yes, basically. Or
Is the book here? Because
that's
that would be a
well, we might be
better.
able to get a couple of things if he's susceptible. He might know more.
Because there's no point raiding this place to find that they went to the other with their book, and we've missed the opportunity.
Here it goes. A good chance of a critical here.
Yes, I have
Ting, ting,
two
ting, ting, ting.
sixes. Yeah, so 2 sixes.
He goes, well, there's 2 places, isn't there? We've got a little bit of a tiny little outpost in that apartment block, but mostly it's the abandoned water tank on top of the planet of the grapes. You went fucking straight there.
So your keen investigating abilities to randomly chance it.
Unnatural knowledge, just randomly figure it out.
Pick me a number between 1 and 100. 57.
Right, okay, so
Aye.
that's the base.
Yes.
Yeah, it's in the old abandoned water tank up there.
Do they have the book?
And do they
What book?
Yeah, but he wouldn't necessarily. He
Right,
might not
sure,
necessarily
yeah.
know about it.
have you had a big score lately?
Oh, aye, we had a bit. Well, they're lying low at the moment. They're up there now.
They're up there now.
Yeah, just keeping low. My head feels funny.
Yeah, I think I might be wearing off.
No, that's fine. You just sleep it off.
Aye, alright. And he throws himself into a pile of bin bags and goes to sleep.
Nice.
Right.
That's a starting point.
Well, that's one of their lookouts dealt with for the moment.
You kind of notice that there's some weedy little shit looking at you from not too far away whilst you're making all your noise.
Is he looking in a
pretending
mirror?
to be drunk.
You pointed at me there.
Yeah, he did.
What?
Yeah.
Wander
The
over.
audacity.
Wander over.
Bastard.
Immediately does one. He's off like a rat up a drain pipe.
Right.
I'll get after him.
Graeme dashes along after him. To be fair, for this guy who's supposed to be a lurk, I mean, he's got a fair turn of pace. He's gone. You reckon he's now by the train station?
As I have to now go to work.
Yeah, have a good evening at work.
I'm sure I will. And I'd just like to point out that nobody's dead, nothing's on fire as I leave.
Oh, don't you worry. I'll make sure all of that
Everything that
happens.
goes wrong from now on, that's all your faults.
All right, cheers.
I mean, you say faults.
Oh, deliberate actions. I can't just go, no, don't do that. Right, well, have a good evening.
Yeah.
All right.
Hope you solve it all, and I'll see you all soon.
It's old Jim again. And with that, Graham's character in his day-glow yellow jacket vanished into the darkness and is seen no more. Well, no more until next session at least. How will the team cope without his steadying hand? Placing their resident thug in charge of the gang is bound to lead to an exercise in subtlety and misdirection, don't you think? Oh well, please yourselves.
You now have a location where these Turdingtons live. The old water tank on top of the planet of the grapes.
Yes.
So when it's a water tank, is it on like struts?
I'm imagining like an American water tank.
I'm going to go for an American water tank.
Yeah.
Because it's a classic, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Classic piece of design.
Easy to.
Sort
The
of
water
thing,
tank's
yeah.
going to be metal, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not going
No,
to
it's going to be wooden.
It's going to be wooden.
Could be like
Probably
a
with a tar inside.
big barrel almost.
Oh, what would happen?
Well,
They would all die.
Oh, that's a shame.
And the book would be burnt to a crisp.
Singed, maybe we could forget before it was fully
I
burned.
do have
Oh,
the
like
option
try
of an
to
alchemical that's called a smoke bomb.
There is an option of an alchemical called a smoke bomb, and I hate your character.
Yay!
You send him to sleep maybe with a.
Having reread it, you need to use the acquire asset in downtime to tick the things on your sheet.
Oh, the items
Yes.
list. Right. That
So-
makes more sense.
He did have trance powder because he's deliberately
Done it.
grew it, as it were, which effectively means you've used it on that guy.
Right.
And it wasn't something of...
I thought that's too easy if
Yes.
you can just tick them off.
It was, yeah. And I knew it would find it somewhere. So beautifully, in the equipment list, it's not mentioned, but it is mentioned right at the end of the item.
Right. Yeah, so we're going to have to figure out our plan of attack.
You are attempting your shenanigans. So you're going to attack by punchy knack, I believe, is your favourite. Your favourite. It's to get in with violence.
Yes.
So what you need is the point of attack for your detail of your second kind of score of the evening.
I still think that getting an attack on a tier 2 is not a good idea.
Tier 2 just means that they've got more reputation than you. They've done more.
The more established.
Maybe they've been around longer. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're tougher than you.
Well, I mean, what we could potentially do is like knock a leg off the tower, which to unbalance it.
Couldn't we be subtle and sneak in with some masks and just get the book and get out of there? We don't have to kill everyone.
We need masks.
The problem with it is we don't know their code language, we don't know their masks, we don't have their coverings, we don't know them by person.
Are you a Wraith? Yes.
Like, to get in, you probably
And
have
they
to
go,
give a
no,
key
there isn't.
phrase.
There's only 6 of us. And who are you for?
Turns out there's one bloke.
The Wraith.
Yeah,
And you've got a dog. What's he going to do? Wear a mask?
yeah.
Ting, 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 ting.
Come along, Tintin.
And once again, it's old Jim. Let's get ready to rumble. Obviously, I can't say the other phrase because that's been copyrighted, so I've gone with one of my own. It's fight time, so here the guys will roll everything, and their rolls will determine what effect happens, who gets hurt, and how successful they are. The GM rolls nothing and has to be on his toes at all times. We slowly introduce more rules to the guys as we go, and hopefully they're clear enough for you to understand.
Oh, demolition tools.
Yeah.
When we say demolition tools, is that like actually... I'm just wondering, is that something that we could do to like... If you're going to go kick the door in, whether or not
A
we
sledgehammer, iron spikes, a heavy drill and some crowbar.
just heavy hammer to smash the door in, if you're going to go that way.
Yeah, let's do it.
You would start with 1 dice for sheer luck.
Do it. Do it.
I then ask some questions. Is this operation bold or daring?
Bold.
Yes.
Yeah, I would agree with that, which would give you a 2nd dice. Does it expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest? I would probably say no.
Because this is presumably where they're strongest.
Can any of your friends and contacts provide aid or insight to the operation? Are there enemy rivals interfering? Are there any other elephants I wish to continue? So maybe a lower tier target would give you a +1, but it basically would be a case of what happens and what position you find yourself in when you burst through that door.
Yeah.
If it ends up desperate, XP land.
Yes.
And if it ends up 14 desperate rolls in a row, you is minted. So, unless you can decide what you would like to do, I'm going to say you're on a 2 dice tops as a engagement roll.
Okay.
But this is the time when you may wish to think about doing your flashback examples. You're invading somebody else's base, so it's obviously going to be a little bit more risky than usual.
But we didn't know where the base was until I thought.
Well, we didn't know where the base was, but maybe his...
He's going to address it with violence, so instantly he's going to be able to put a tick in the box of XP. If anybody else has violence, you're laughing.
Yep.
Good. So that's
No.
the Hound has also got one.
I adjust, so I've got things like adjust a challenge with deception or influence.
technical skill or mayhem.
Mayhem.
Well, there you go.
So, I mean, who's going to be first through the door?
I'm going to do it.
In that case, you roll the dice. It's 3. So
That's not great, is it?
it's you basically burst through the door, and exactly like Lee said, yes, they did have a lookout who gave them a little bit of warning.
Right.
You start in a desperate situation as soon as you walk in the door. You kick the door in, and they're ready for you. Good for XP.
Mm-hmm.
Bad for everything else.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
But XP's good. XP's good. So, you're in a desperate situation. Every time you roll a desperate action, mark a point of XP for the attribute you've rolled. And that would be these little low-hanging fruit.
Yes.
So, we'll start with man through the door.
Uh,
There are 5 people in this room. Jack Large, Millicent, Scratchit, Proudfoot Smith, and some bloke who appears to be in some kind of old packing crate attached to a load of pulleys and ropes around the roof.
what?
Yeah, he has no legs. He's legless.
I'm out.
At this point, can you pick your
Is he saying-
load?
You don't need to. What you do is you go, I would like a gun. I pull it out of my pocket. There you've got a gun.
Yeah, that.
Take
We
that.
have a light load, so we have 5 items.
Yeah, so that's what I'm sort of thinking. At this point, I'd like to say, I've got some armour.
You do that when you get hit.
Yeah.
You don't need to say it now.
All right, cool.
It literally is. As the need arises, then you do it.
Okay.
It's good I brought a pistol.
Oh,
with
you
me.
were ready and cocked and...
Yeah. Blam.
Jack Large, Millicent, Scratchit, Proudfoot Smith, all roll.
Millicent. Why not?
Millicent's going to shoot the bird.
A Millicent bystander.
Oh, I like it.
So it would presumably be finesse.
It will be. If you wish to attack her with finesse, that is entirely up to you.
It's as good as anything else I can think of.
No, it's fine. It's usually subtle misdirection, stealing items from people's pockets, sleight of hand, and handling vehicles.
Or skirmish.
Oh, skirmish, 100%.
Yeah, skirmish then.
Punch them in the parts. You're not pushing it. You're not going to take a devil's bargain.
No, not just yet.
Okay, just checking. You are desperate. 6. Take an experience point in your section. He, unfortunately for me, manages to do it. He shoots Millicent, and she shrieks and takes a little bit of harm. Lee, your action. You're second in the door.
Oh, right, okay.
Simply because it's going round the table clockwise.
Right, okay.
And Matt runs away.
Matt goes, screw that noise. There's somebody firing in there.
Yeah.
They're firing, sir, they're firing.
Yeah, don't forget, take your gun off.
Right, so
Yes, I've done it.
Bayonets.
he's just targeted
Millicent.
So how many are in there?
There's 5,
5 in there. Right, okay.
and they were ready for you.
Just what counts as an unusual weapon, by the way?
I do
It's
not
like
know.
a scythe.
Like a rack of ham? I don't know.
It's a scythe.
Because
A
I thought,
rack
like,
of lamb.
Yeah.
like if I could have pulled a Tommy gun out of my bag and just shot all of them.
No, I like a rack of lamb.
Well, that was one of the tropes for murder plots, wasn't it? You beat somebody to death with a frozen joint
Yes.
and then eat the evidence.
Well,
It is
Hum,
a curiosity or tool turned into a weapon. A whip, a flail, a hatchet, a shovel, a length of chain, a razor-edged fan, steel-toed boots, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's an improvised weapon.
No mention
basically.
of lamb. Okay.
If you want a hunk of lamb, that's up to you.
Excellent.
More than happy with that.
is it lit in here?
It's lit by candles and
Yeah,
things.
have some
I don't know,
fucking-
electricity, phantom lamps, ghost lanterns.
Could savage somebody with a turban.
Yes,
Right, okay.
a particularly big bloater.
Is there, how would we normally put the lights out?
It's a desperate situation. You are in the situation where you have to react immediately because
Right.
they are ready for you. Pardon the expression, they're going to unload on you any minute.
Right,
Oh,
well, I'm
bloody hell.
probably going to have to do the same then, which is have a pistol.
Oh,
and then-
he's got a pistol.
He's got a shower.
He does now, and he's fired his load.
Yeah,
so it's some
not that
kind-
I've got any skill to fire it, like.
Oh, you must have at least one.
No, he really doesn't.
Yeah, you get 1 dice minimum. There's always a minimum of 1 dice. However, you can push it. You can take a devil's bargain. You can. No, he's going for it.
Push
He's going
it
for
to
it. He's
the
going for
limit.
it.
It would be
Oh.
it would be finesse, wouldn't it?
Well,
it's
skirmish.
Skirmish.
No, skirmish is technically supposed to be close quarters.
It must be finesse for shooting.
This finesse, I'm
Yeah,
pretty
it
sure.
probably is. It doesn't matter. You've got 6 anyway.
Right, so I got 1. Yeah.
He's rolled and won.
Oh, bam.
It's the worst possible outcome.
Yeah.
You do get an
He
experience
loses
point,
this up. The complication occurs. He goes, "I've got a shooter." Oh shit! I didn't load it.
Yeah. It's about right because I don't do this shooting shit.
Yeah.
Dave, have you loaded your gun?
I hope so. So, yes, I'm going to go with a pistol. If you say you've got a second pistol, does that mean you get 2 shots?
2
around?
items? No, you don't get 2 shots in a round, but you would get 2 pistols.
It seems a bit pointless having the second pistol, doesn't
You
it?
could, well, they'd give
No.
you more bullets, but you could
Unless
do.
you drop
But
it.
I would start taking dice away from you.
Right, fair enough. And since I've only got 1 dice, we don't want that.
Well, you can't lose more than 1. You know, you have to have 1 dice.
Yeah, if I'm going on finesse, I've got 1 die in finesse.
You could push it and get 2 extra.
2 stress, get 2 dice.
He's only gone and done it.
He's taken 2 stress, and now he's got 2 dice. 6.
Double 6.
He's
2
got
sixes.
Hate this game. Right.
Did he shoot?
Cool. So, critical. You have managed to shoot with increased effect. You hit that person who was totally and utterly uninjured, and he's now taken the first 2 boxes of harm
Oh,
straight away.
Right.
It was a
Blammo.
big wound. So they can do less effect, that person.
So there was some big guy.
Jack Large.
Jack Large.
Yeah, technically he's a dwarf. But
he's blown his kneecaps off.
Well, I want to go for the one that looks the most dangerous.
Proudfoot Smith.
Right, go on then.
Okay.
Not Proudfoot anymore. He's blown it off.
He sounds like a hobbit.
Old hobbits die hard.
Tolkien is hobbit farming.
That's a Tolkien of my affection.
Anyway. I apologise for that pathetic interlude.
No worse than anything else tonight.
There's no else for this series of...
Yes. You have shot a person, 2 wounds, and you?
I shall pull my trusty shooter out.
He pulls his shooter out.
I'm going to blam the one that he
Stop
blamed.
dice wanking.
4 is my highest roll.
4 is his highest roll, which is the same as 4. Yeah, okay. What I shall do is you attack Scratch It or Jack Large.
Whichever one that he critical. Try and.
No, I'm going to make you choose an opposite target because you wouldn't have known that he criticaled until after you, at the time you were shooting.
Fair. Right. So my
Right,
options
let's do it. I'm going to just randomly decide. So I am actually going to just give that person, you do reduced effect. No wounds, just some stress.
Okay.
doing my part.
Ollie.
Psycho honey badger.
They unload all over you.
Excellent.
What are you going to do?
Get out of the way of them unloading on me.
Okay. How would you like to do that?
I'm presuming this might be where finesse comes into mind, of hoying myself out of the way.
It's one of those things. It isn't particularly clear what skills you use in any situation.
Yeah, exactly.
You justify
It is. You have to justify why you're using it and how it is finessed effectively.
I'm just cartwheeling out of the way.
What about a flashback? Is there any use in...
You don't do dodges. It's not required because I get an action.
Oh, okay. I'll. So do I use the same pistol I used previously?
Unless you wished a second pistol.
No. That's fine. I wasn't sure if it was a one-shot deal.
Are you assuming it's a flintlock pistol, I presume?
Well, given the technology.
The technology level.
It's Victorian times, you know.
Oh,
Yeah,
we'd have
yeah,
revolvers.
Victorian times,
Right,
they
okay,
had guns.
Yeah.
Right.
Otherwise, the Boer War would have been a damn sight
A
different.
5. I'm shooting the same target.
Very much so. Yeah.
Same as the Wild West.
Furious.
Wiki wow.
You're still in a desperate situation. You have shot Wild Billy Hickok.
Do I have a shot at a different target?
No, Millicent, no. Billy, B-I... However, your gun backfires and burns your hand. You take your first wound box.
I take a harm?
Yeah.
Right, well, that's...
And you get the experience point.
Can you resist it?
You can attempt to resist it. That is an important factor.
I will attempt. In fact, what I'm going to do, dude, I'm just going to expend my armour.
Okay.
And that basically takes it for me.
Yeah, your armour-proof glove takes care of it. His gun's backfired.
Soft skull.
Do I just tick off armour for that?
Tick off the first box of armour. That's your second item.
Done. Damn.
That's how I damage you.
Yes.
In a desperate situation, if you don't get 6s, that's when things happen.
This would presumably be a point where I would need the second pistol.
You do have, of course, knives, feet, fists.
Did I hit them? But there was a backfire.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So they've taken their second wound.
Oof.
Lee has another go.
Not going to help.
What are you good at?
Prowling.
Is that it?
Yeah.
He's sneaky.
I think we maybe should have made his character a bit more varied.
No, almost everybody starts out with 1 point in most of their skills. It does make you particularly good at doing that. But yet again, it's one of those ones that allows you to do certain things. You can prowl about unseen, traverse obstacles, climb, swim, run, jump, tumble, ambush, backstab, throat cut, blackjack.
What I will be doing is prowling straight back out the door.
You can.
Yep,
Absolutely.
That's what I'm going to do.
He just does one.
Okay.
Make me a do one roll.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And because it's a desperate situation.
It is a desperate situation. He will get a tick in it.
5.
Yeah. He runs straight into the man that warned them and was just coming up the stairs behind you to join in the fight.
Excellent.
But yeah.
There's your complication. You've run into Pursuivant.
I'm going to shoot Mr. Proudfoot again.
As if that's going to happen. As if this will be a critical again.
3.
Unfortunately, it's the worst possible outcome.
Okay.
A serious complication occurs. Right, okay. The serious complication, that old rum with his no legs in his basket above, it whizzes about in front of you, and the first thing that he does is he knocks you flying, and your gun goes, skitters across the room, just falls through a hole in the floor.
That's pistol number 1.
You leave it where it is, you just don't have it.
Right.
But you take 2 points of stress.
There we go.
You can attempt to resist damages. When you suffer a consequence and you don't like it, you can resist it. Resistance automatically effective. However, you suffer 6 stress minus the highest dice roll you roll. So if you roll 1 to try and get rid of your 2 stress, you might take 5.
Right, scratch it. I'm not going to bother.
Okay, he's just going to take 2 stress. Well, that would be worth mentioning.
Like, if you're going to take 6 stress, why wouldn't you roll? Well, if you're taking 6 stress, you're in trouble.
It's true.
And you?
I'm gonna use my trusty good shooter to shoot the person I just shot.
I love the fact he says trusty shooter and then it's going to...
No, it'd be fine.
2.
I've decided to roll randomly for the consequence, just to make it nice and easy.
Oh,
so,
right.
it backfires as well. You've not been keeping your guns properly. You burn your hand.
Oh, wonderful. I'll use my armour then to... How much harm does it give you?
It takes care of it.
Just scratch it.
Okay.
You tick off the armour.
Tick off the armour, and that means that's your second item of your 5.
Okay.
Right, Ollie.
Cool.
Blammo!
Gun number 2. Here we go. That's his third item.
I do get my experience point because I fucked up.
I think you're better in close quarters combat, aren't you?
Wreck it, mate. Wreck it.
Wreck-It Ralph, is he?
Wreck it's bosh destruction, innit?
Get a close nut in.
Yeah, no, screw it. I'm going to get uber violent.
Okay, he just steps forward and nuts.
Pull the gun like you're going to shoot him, then nut him. Yeah.
Do you want to use a weapon? Is
the
the thing. Yeah, I'm going to go roll the stomper.
Yeah, okay, go for it.
Nah.
I was just about to ask him whether he wanted a devil's bargain, but unfortunately, once you've rolled the dice, you've rolled the dice. It's not the best. A complication arises. You go in with a massive overhand, and the guy just stares at you as this fist comes hoving towards him, and you catch it on a rope that in rum sliding about all over the place. Catches it, and it literally overbalances you. It totally knocks you over, and you go flat on your backside on the floor,
Excellent.
right in front of his massive feet.
Excellent.
Lee is now outside with Pursuivant, who is right up in his grill.
So it was 4 against 6, and now it's 4 against 7.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
There was 5 of them, now there's 6.
Right.
Right, but I can still point the gun
100%.
at the guy that's just run in. And rather than try to shoot it,
Sneak up
I want
behind him.
to
You can't sneak up behind him, you Burke.
I want to basically
He's twinkle
yell him
toes.
to, is he coming up the steps?
Is he going for command, are you?
Sway.
Sway.
Yeah.
Sway is a tricky one.
Get down.
Charm, logic, deception, disguise, and bluff. Command definitely is what you're looking at.
Is it?
Yeah, to intimidate,
Bark
threaten, and
and-
absolutely barking an order.
Right, okay.
Bullshit.
Could take a devil's bargain
Bullshit.
or some cheeky stress.
I could take a devil's bargain, except that's probably liable to fuck me over more than I already am. So, screw it on to it.
I would say it would be betraying a friend, because instead of doing him, he just runs in and kills you 3.
Yeah.
And that makes
Yeah.
you 2 to 1. Slams the
Right,
door
so
in
that
his
gives me an
face.
extra dice.
Yeah,
Is
straight
it-
away.
Is it still desperate?
I would say you're on risky yourself,
Right. Okay.
simply because it's 1-on-1,
Yeah.
which isn't as bad if you fuck up.
Yeah. So I'll just take the 2 then. So command. So I step
Yeah.
back, get down.
Come on,
Steps
don't
over.
have failing dice again. Here's 1 to 3 there.
3. But I'm only risky. It's not
Yeah.
desperate. So that's at least something.
It's desperate now. The complication turns it into a desperate situation.
Right,
He
okay.
gets the upper hand.
Maybe got the drop on you.
It literally, that's all it is.
It is.
But he's definitely got the better of you at the moment.
Yeah.
Dave.
Oh dear. Right, I'm going up my throwing knives,
Oh, he's got knives.
and I presume with finesses, it's still 1 dice, is it?
If that's what you've got in the skill.
Yeah. Okay. I don't.
Unless you can take stress or take a devil's bargain.
What's the devil? How does the devil's bargain work?
The devil's bargain is one of those ones where something you'll take on that the situation will potentially affect you, affect somebody else.
Maybe you leave an identifier here about you specifically. Or
You actually killed them rather than knock them out from the...
Yeah, and killing people is a bad idea. Collateral damage, unintended harm. That's the first one. Sacrificing coins or an item. Betraying a friend. For example, if you roll a 1 to 3, you throw it into Matt's back.
Doesn't have to be me.
It was the first person that came to mind. Offend or anger a faction, which is clear you're already doing it. Start a troublesome clock, so that when the clock is finally ticked, shit rains down on you from a great height. Add heat to the crew because you leave evidence behind. Suffer harm. Those are the devil's bargains.
Crash the water tower into the bar.
They're not good, are they?
No.
no.
Well,
don't
that's
like
the whole
this.
point. Basically, you're not always acting in your own best interests. To reflect this, I offer you a dice if you accept a devil's bargain.
I am going to take stress.
He's going to take a push, and he's just going to go for 2 dice.
How much stress do you take? Is it 2?
2. When you've filled them all in, you rub it all out and take a harm.
I've got 1 to go. 4 and a 3.
A 4. It's not the worst. You've done it, but it's not the best. Proudfoot Smith takes a little bit of stress. It clips him rather than hits him properly. Right. But of course, he gets nadgered if he ends up taking too much stress.
All right, I'll pull out my second most trusty pistol and,
Right, go
and
for it.
blam them.
What's the
With a
6?
6, I have succeeded.
You were firing at
Yep.
Gratchit, I believe.
Yep.
Lovely. That's done.
Yeah.
We move right back round to this gentleman.
Is there any limits on flashbacks? Is it my imagination?
Stress, isn't it?
You will take 2 stress to do it,
Yeah.
and obviously stress causes you.
I thought we might get into this sort of situation. So luckily, I had my dangerous friend, Mercy, who's a cold killer, tailing us to give us some backup.
I like it.
You're calling in a favour. Okay, cool.
Favours for sailors.
It may cost you a coin, but that's the way it goes.
Might mean we can actually get out of here, relatively safely. Mercy, a cold killer.
Cold cat, you said she's just chilly. Not wearing enough clothes.
Oh, is that what I've misunderstood.
Go get the fire on.
I'm mithered.
So you've decided that there's backup.
Yes.
A backup coming, which
Yeah, she's serious business.
So have you taken your stress?
I have taken my
He has,
stress.
yeah.
So what basically happens is he goes back. It appears he was there, just slipping a promissory note over the table for Mercy. And the next thing you know is your situation moves to controlled.
Oh, right, okay.
Because he's coming in like that,
Yeah.
and somebody goes, catch. I don't think so.
Okay.
Which instantly will give you 1+1 dice on your skirmish, because you've got a friend assisting.
Okay. 5.
5, that's all
In
right.
controlled, that's good.
It's controlled. You hesitate, withdraw, and try a different approach, basically, or else you do it and take a minor consequence, which is a minor complication. Reduced effect, suffer lesser harm, and then you end up in a risky position. Those are options that you take. So you could still deck that person if you wish to take them down, but
Or I could have had a knife in my hand.
that would have required you to have pushed it or something.
Yeah, no.
Having a knife in your hand would be something you'd have to declare
You
beforehand.
just cold
Yeah.
cock him, basically.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Yeah,
I'll just-
cold cock him
Cold cock
with
him.
reduced effect. It just glances off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's still going to do something.
But
Yeah.
now it's now 2 against 1.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, I still can't push it to a risky situation because 2 against 1 is not risky.
And it is. Oh, no, yeah. So
It's Dave's go.
Right, I'm going to heave another knife, I think.
I'm running out of knives!
3.
It's not grand. I'm going to say it's a complication. He goes, ha! And throws it backwards.
Yeah, it's going to say he loses hold of it.
But unfortunately, what it does is it goes fadunk into the door and seals the door.
Oh.
We're trapped in here now with the...
No, they're not. We're not trapped in there.
I'm presuming when you tick all the XP boxes, it's once you've had a rest or whatever. That
You wipe them all out,
And then you get a dot in one.
do you do
of
that
those.
immediately, or is
we
it?
do it in the downtime phase.
Yeah.
If
I
you
thought
get
you would.
extras, just mark them next to it.
Blam time.
Captain Blampants. Scratch it goes and falls over.
Nice.
Just unconscious though.
It's now 3 against 4.
Right. Pull out my blade.
Yeah.
Have it. I'm not gonna get caught in a rope this time. You
Where were you
see.
hiding that big thing?
Well, I'm still drawing it out of the scabbard.
Okay.
Strapped to his cock.
Fua.
Oh no! It's shit!
It's not as shit as it could have been.
Severe harm, reduced effect, severe complication. The complication is Hoya!
No, his cock's still strapped to it. That's the complication.
Yeah, he's just chopped his cock.
No, chop me cock. Oh no!
Hang on! Nobody move!
It's so small we could be here for weeks.
I demand a pallet.
I mean, that would be an interesting one of the opening round of combat.
Oh,
I've chopped my own leg off. I don't
I've
understand.
lost Norman. Who's Norman? Oh, it's my penis. Well,
We can't let it die. We don't want to get a ghost cock.
ghost cock.
Cock.
Yeah, the crow's on his way.
Is it more like a robin?
Bird.
Cock robin.
Yeah! That is so cut out.
That was a decent gag.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's too good for our.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? It's the episode title.
I think the title of this one should be a David Bowie song. That's right. It's Absolute Beginners. We move. I mean, you do it. You hit them, but there's a consequence. I'm going to say you stab him, glances off his ribs, does some damage, and he clamps it down.
Ah, fair enough.
And it's back to Lee. Lee with his little friend.
Yeah.
Mercy is distracting him with her enormous jugs. She's brought him in the bar.
I was going to say, that's why she took so long to get here.
Yeah, she was ordering a pint.
She was climbing up the stairs going, I don't understand.
Bring me a beer.
Well, yeah, I'll try to give him another
Just
smack again.
kick him in the nads.
Yeah. 6.
And you panel beat him.
He sends them into orbit. They just go.
Into his throat.
No, he leaps off the rooftop along with his bollocks.
Technically, he's dragged off. He's pulled off by a hammer.
Tossed off.
I think bollocks is worth 4 stress.
I think.
Dave,
Another knife.
is that your last knife?
It just says throwing knives. It doesn't say how many you've got.
Yeah, throwing knives, I think, is 1 item per piece of kit.
It does say knives.
Yeah,
And there is
does.
no extra boxes to take.
Now, just you hold on a cotton-picking minute.
Classic.
6 small light blades.
Classic
6.
shithousery.
6.
So I have used 2.
Once you get past 6, you can then get another set of knives and have 12.
Oh, it's like having a cutlery set.
Yeah, he's chucking knives, forks, and spoons at him.
6.
The dunk. He's on Proudfoot Smith, isn't he?
Yes.
Oh, he gives up the ghost. He says, fuck this noise.
I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah, you did.
You did.
We're on to...
Third time's a charm. Shoot him a bang. 4.
Oh,
She's
that's
not-
piss poor. Once again, I think we're about to shift this down to a risky situation, possibly even just controlled, because you are starting to win this big style. You do it, but there's a consequence.
Okay.
I think what happens on this, you were attacking whom?
Jack Large, yeah.
Yeah.
Big lad.
You hit him, but at the same time, he grabs hold of your hand, wrenches the gun out, and you take 2 stress on your fingers.
Okay. So I've lost the gun as well.
Yes.
Okay, that's unfortunate for me.
We push it.
Oh, he's pushing it.
I'm just going. He's clamped down on my blade. I'm punching him.
Yeah.
Like really hard.
3 dice in the face.
6.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted. It's only a risky situation, however. You do it. You just punch him right in the face. And he says, ow, no, no.
Yes.
And finally, we move round to Lee again. Lee, who has definitely sent Persuivant's testicles into orbit, is currently dry heaving in your face.
Good. He goes.
Mercy, by now, has him pinned. So you can effectively just like...
Rock him sock over.
yeah, just rock 'em, sock 'em.
But that 2 though.
Is that 2 on 2 dice?
No, it was
2 on 2 dice.
Yeah, so that was 2 on 2 dice. The first one was a 1.
The guy just misses. He breaks out of Mercy's hands.
Okay.
Finally, we move down to controlled with Dave.
So Proudfoot.
Proudfoot Smith is done. Scratchett is done. Millicent is wounded, only just. Jack Large is taking a shoeing, and Rum, Captain No Legs, is up in the rafters, sliding about on a set of winches.
Rum.
Yeah.
Shooting.
2.
He throws a knife into the roof. I think I've decided. Screw it. I know I've decided. He suffers harm because he snaps a rope, which stops the man going somewhere, but it just ricochets back and smacks him in the face.
Ow.
For harm.
Armour?
Yeah, you can cross armour off.
He said, yeah, armour. Yeah, your second box of armour, and each box of armour is part of your load.
So I've got 1,
Oh,
2,
actually,
3, 4.
3.
I'm forgetting about one of my items.
What?
I'm going to use my special armour for being battleborn. For that last push, I'm going to use my special armour rather than the 2 stress boxes.
Oh, I could in with
Nice.
a special arm.
And we move to Matt.
I shall pull out my thrice trusty throwing knives.
Oh, right, okay. He's got 6 of these bitches.
5.
Yeah, it's controlled now. You can do it if you want, but a minor complication will occur.
What's the minor complication?
I won't tell you until you've actually decided on what you're going to do.
I'm going to hurt this guy.
You're going to hurt this guy.
He's so big, he needs to go down.
He's not keen for that. He will fight until he's dead.
You're going to pump him thoroughly.
He was going to give up, but I mean, if I'm going to have to go down on you, I'm definitely giving up.
Time to pay the pipe then.
Oh, what? That's not a pipe.
And I'm not a musician.
Okay, the minor consequence is immaterial because Jack Large decides to give up and asks Millicent and what's left of Rum to give up. You're starting to turn them over.
Those are the spit roast boys. Where the subtle
Outside, Persuivant is being spit roasted by Mercy and him.
Pegging, clearly.
Yeah. Persuivant says, this is the best attack I've ever had.
Worth every call.
You guys can come back. I'll give you the option. The fighting seems to subside inside. Are you going to try anything? You'll still get a plus 1 dice anyway.
On him, yeah, I might as well do because there's no point going there now. They've got that sorted.
I know, but I'm just trying to say,
I don't know.
Are you wanting to do something different rather than just punching him? Is what I was meaning.
Oh, right, okay. I could always shoot him, couldn't
You could.
I? Other than that, is he giving up or is he still?
No, this is the whole point. He needs to be persuaded to give up.
Yeah, I will persuade him to give up,
Okay, I'll allow that.
and also because I've got Mercy, There, I get the extra dice.
Yeah, that would give you 3 dice.
Well, it's skill up to 2. 3 dice, yeah.
Yeah.
6 and a 5. Yeah, 6.
Nice.
That's it.
He gets a 6. He goes, oh, go on then. It takes you about 5 minutes to get in the room.
Yeah.
So there's Ollie on the other side with both feet either side of the door going,
It's coming loads. He just pushes on it.
And you take 2.
Do you want a hand?
2 chests are getting pushed against the wall. behind it.
No, he just falls off the door.
I'm gonna pick up my guns.
He was pushing it, you dickhead.
Yeah. Knife's getting deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
He goes,
I hope this is the Wraiths, because otherwise it's going to be really awkward.
really embarrassing. Just
Are they wearing masks?
No, they're not wearing any masks because they're at home.
Yeah.
Any
The
sound
thing with it is if they have masks here, instant Wraith disguises.
I know. That's what I'm thinking.
They are here and they do have masks.
Excellent.
They haven't subsided. They've just, in a sense, gone, right, okay, call a halt. Call a halt, but they can still fight if they need to.
Well, it's fine because we'll invite our friends from outside.
That's fine. Your friends from outside come in, but so obviously does Persuadent.
Yes.
Okay, 2 of them are unconscious at the moment. That still makes 4 on 5.
I'll make sure they're not dead. I'll just.
You would tell if they were dead, because apparently where you are, if there's a dead person, you will likely hear the sound of the bell.
I
Yes.
hear bell every day.
And then a bird turns up.
And a bird turns up and sits on your head.
That sounds alright to me.
To be fair, I've had worse evenings.
Yeah.
What doing?
Search the room.
We're in a sort of impasse at the moment.
Yeah.
All right.
Give up the book and we'll be on our way. Continue and suffer the consequences.
We won't be so subtle next time.
I'm trying to coerce them.
You're trying to command or sway.
I command.
Okay?
Fuck it.
Oh, he's stressing up.
Oh, arc at him. It's not great.
He got a tree. He's not persuaded that you're the best thing since bread was invented. Never mind sliced. He says, right, okay, but we don't have the book.
Where is it?
We carried out a heist
Yes.
at this brothel, right, in Night Market. Upmarket joint, mind. None of your rubbish. They actually had buckets to wash.
Classy.
Yeah, class. Absolute class.
There's too much to unpick from that sentence.
There's so much to unpick. And we happened to grab a book.
Yes.
Now, I don't know what the book was, but Rum, hello, sitting in his basket. He used to be a Leviathan crewman, and he watched as his legs got swept into the sea by a falling.
Woman's legs.
That's where you're wrong, laddie.
You bloody would as well.
He recognises some of the pictures in the book, but not necessarily what they were for. He knows it's worth money to a ship's captain.
Yes.
So we tried to do a deal, but it was stolen from us, all right, by this bloke. We didn't know who he was, but we gave chase.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of our guys kind of cornered him. There was an altercation on top of this pub, right, and he fell through a window after Persuadent lost his head and stabbed him.
Persuadent.
Persuadent.
Oh, I thought you said Persuadent.
It was very close, but no.
Okay.
And he fell through the roof, and he was taken by a rival gang. So, I mean, we just went, we're outnumbered here. There's only 2 of them that were actually following at that time. So they left him, right? But Proudfoot Smith followed them. They followed him to Strangford's house. So naturally, that's that. They've clearly gone and given it back to bloody Strangford. But then something weird happened, right? A bunch of people obviously broke in. We didn't know what was going on. But all hell breaks loose in this gaff. And out come these dudes running, all dressed in kind of like servants' outfit. Proudfoot Smith, he goes, oh, I'm following. The next thing we know, well, there was a woman trailing 2 of the people who were leaving. Now, the only reason we found that is Nathaniel. What a knobhead. He slipped on a roof tile and fell right into her path, nearly knocking her cold. She was not best pleased. So Nathaniel, he's in the bed in the corner because he's now got a stab wound to the chest. And at that point, of course, that meant we lost the dudes who'd clearly gone into Strangford's place.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. We know nothing else.
You said you didn't have the book.
No, we lost the book because the bloke had it when he fell through the roof in that. Was it the leaky bucket or something?
Yes, it was the leaky bucket.
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
The book then came into our possession.
I wouldn't be telling them that, but there you go.
Oh, well, we can do a deal then. We pinched it. It's only fair.
Where is it now?
I don't know.
You said you knew where the book was.
No, I said I'd tell you the story.
And you don't have...
I don't have the book.
Right.
We haven't seen it since that fella fell through the roof.
Yeah.
Do you know who does have... This woman who stabbed him.
No idea. She'll
be one of the captains, the one that was chasing.
The blade. presumably.
So obviously the guys in servants' costumes, that was us.
Yes. I wouldn't have told him that.
No, he's surmising you.
Yeah, I missed
I'm
that.
not saying that out loud.
Brilliant.
So she was following us even though we managed to escape, and it's followed 2 years.
No.
In essence, then they don't know what happened to the book after
No.
Nobby got it stolen from him.
Because he's an idiot.
So it's obviously it weren't them. So
we've
So you were going to make a deal for this book.
Well, we're trying to, but they got nicked off us.
Right.
So the next thing we know, we're chasing it across the rooftops, and then this fella, whoever he was, fell through the roof. That was the last we saw of the book. And because clearly somebody had known we had it, we decided to play it cool and just like bunker down for a bit.
Well, the trail led us to you, assuming you had stolen the book back.
As if.
You are notable thieves.
Yeah, but
Right.
we didn't know where it was.
okay.
We've turned it.
So if we were going to sell something underground, that kind of thing, where would we go? Who would we go
Well, I think it's different to that. I think it may have been stolen back. Well, if it was one of the captains who tailed and took it back, then they've got it back. That's a big if.
to? I don't know if there's anything else that we'll learn
We
from
are
here.
currently at the end of this particular session. It's been emotional.
For the last time, it's old Jim. The score is finished, and the gang wend their way back through the streets of Doskvol to their hideout once more. But that's not quite the end. Every session ends up with a downtime experience phase, so they can tot up all their experience. And that's what we'll discuss next.
But we do have downtime in between them their missions, which gives you the opportunity to do two things.
Mm-hmm.
There is a payoff. After a score, you take stock of income from the operation. I would say you had a reasonably successful operation. Now, it might feel at first glance like you hit a bit of an impasse, but it doesn't take much for Fingers McGinty over there to accidentally walk away with an unconscious man's purse in his pocket.
Mm.
So,
My dog's an excellent ball grabber. Sorry, purse grabber.
Phrasing.
your ball grabbing dog,
Your ball grabbing bitch.
you will gain 2 rep for the score by default.
This is the
If the score is against a higher tier, you get +1 rep. That's 3.
Nice.
People
Getting close now.
hear about it, and that is fine. The crew earn coin based on the nature of the operation. I am going to just give you
18 coins.
4 coins.
Good. -1 for hiring Mercy.
That's 3 coins.
So does that go into the group
Well, it
cost?
goes into the group, and then we can see about disbursement. Essentially, there are 5 coins in the group. funds.
Doskvol is a city of prying eyes. Anything you might do might have been witnessed. There's always evidence left behind. To reflect this, you acquire heat. After a score or a conflict, your crew takes heat, depending on the nature of the operation. Smooth and quiet with low exposure gives you no heat at all. Contained, standard exposure, probably 2 heat. You've been involved in a fight with the Wraiths on top of a busy pub.
Inside a water tower.
Inside a water tower, firing guns.
We contained it within the water tower.
Inside a water tower.
Firing multiple guns. I'm only going to give it standard, nothing more.
So that's 2 heat.
It would be 2 heat.
2 heat,
Now, when your heat level reaches 9, then you gain a wanted level.
which it hasn't.
The only way you can reduce your wanted level is incarcerating Nobby. Sorry, somebody in your team. Then, you are scoundrels. You didn't just spring into existence overnight. You have a complex history of favours, commitments, debts, promises. And that leads to entanglement. What we need to do is get one individual to roll a entanglement roll. So the first thing we would find out is find a column that matches your heat level, and your heat is
2.
What is your wanted level?
2.
So I will take 2 dice and I will roll it against the 0 to 3 table. And then there is consequences. A +3 status faction asks you for a favour. You can agree to do it, or you forfeit 1 rep per tier of the friendly faction, or lose 1 status with them.
We'll do it.
If you don't have a +3 faction status, you void the entanglement for now. You have no +3.
Right.
Therefore, no effect.
Right, okay, fair enough. Well, we don't get any detriment. That's the main thing.
And now you move into downtime.
Before we go into individual stuff, can I do crew XP? It's, did we execute a successful espionage, sabotage, or theft operation? No. Contend with challenges above our current station?
Yes.
Yes.
So you say.
Bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew.
No.
Which is being thieves, spies, and saboteurs.
Well,
Well, the prevailing opinion seems to be no.
So we got 1 XP.
There are 6 things you can do, and you get to choose 2 of them. One is acquire asset, which is gain the temporary use of an asset, which is a special item or a set of common items. A cohort, so you can acquire a cohort temporarily. A vehicle, a service. And you can raise it by spending coin to get better quality. You can work on a long-term project. So you would create a clock to create your drugs, and then you would roll your dice on your ability to tinker and see whether you created the item. And you may not get it this time, but it will be halfway completed, as it were. You can recover when you seek to remove your harm. You visit a physica. You can recover, and that is you create a clock, which is right next to this little circle.
yeah, see it.
Is a clock. You fill in those boxes by rolling your dice, which would be the tinker for a PC with a physica special ability, or pay for a healer. Cross off X number of boxes, 1, 2, 3 or 4, depending on what you roll. You may reduce heat. Train. When you spend time training, mark 1 XP on the XP track.
If you pick prowess,
You get 2
you get
2
2
XP instead of
2
1.
instead of 1.
And you can indulge your vice to remove your stress.
Yes.
Because you go and get off your tits and it relaxes you and you recover stress.
Yep.
And you clear stress equal to the highest dice roll. But if you roll more than the stress you have, you overindulge.
What's the downside of that?
You can attract trouble, brag, getting more heat.
I can't roll more than the stress I have.
Well, that's good. You lose, you get disappear, and you miss the next game session.
Oh, there's a bit off.
Your character does. You have to roll a new character. You have to temporarily take on a new
A new
character.
crew member.
Tapped. Your current purveyor cuts you off. You have to find a new source, and that requires you to acquire an asset.
Right, I would like to indulge in my vice then, please.
Well, that's the first of your actions. So what you will do is, but you have finished chapter 2 and at least ticked off the Wraiths as your enemy. It might have felt like you didn't get far, but you've ticked off a box part of the clock. It just depends how many episodes boxes on the clock.
Ha, I fooled you. I'm back again for one final time. Subtle plans are here again. Who cares if it's not subtle? They beat the crap out of the Wraiths despite the heavy editing to begin the session, as the subtle blades debated their plans for a very long time before taking to their actions. Anyway, the book's still unfound, and the full force of the plot is yet to greet them. There's no sign of the book, and no sign of who took the book, and there's no sign of any intelligence in the party. I'll prepare myself carefully for another tale on another occasion, but for now, it's good night from me. Thank God for that. That's the end of that accent. You have been listening to It's Good to Be Bad. This episode, Planet of the Grapes, episode 2 in our long-running Blades in the Dark scenario, was recorded on the 1st of March 2024. As before, episode 3 will wend its way towards you at a suitable point, and old Jim, our storyteller, will join us once again. If this is the first time listening to the show, welcome on board and well done for making it this far. You can interact with us on the various social media platforms in the links attached, and email us on itsgoodtobebad@gmail.com. All interactions really help the show. Why not subscribe, leave a review on your favourite app, or consider helping us out with a contribution via our Patreon account. All these things really do help the show. And as always, remember...
Now, in these back alleys, are there a lot of meringue pies? Because that way, the streets will be deserted.